you're probably not starting over. You're just climbing the wrong mountain. And I know that sounds like something your uncle would say after two IPAs at a graduation party, but stay with me because I talked about this on the Motivated Sellers podcast. And the more I said it out loud, the more I realized this is where a lot of smart people get stuck. You confuse a pivot with a reset. You leave one industry, you change offers, you start a new business, you become a coach, a consultant, maybe an investor and a speaker or a founder or a creator or whatever. And suddenly you act like everything you did before no longer counts. Been there. Like the minute you change the title on your LinkedIn profile, all your proof got packed into a cardboard box and shoved into a storage unit next to old tax returns and a broken lamp. No, that's not how this works. You are not starting from nothing. You're starting with everything you learned. You just haven't named that mountain yet. And here's what I mean. For more than 20 years, I've been in television. I have helped create, develop, produce, and oversee lots of shows. A lot of shows. And some really big shows. And shows that people still talk about. Some shows people watch while folding laundry and then somehow texted their cousin about. That was my job. My job? Find the story, find the hook, and find the person you cannot ignore, and find the line that makes someone say, well, wait, what is this? And for a long time, that was my mountain. What was my mountain? Television, Hollywood. That was the thing I was climbing. And I got pretty high up on that mountain. Now, it wasn't the highest. I wasn't the person planting the flag on top of Mount Everest while dramatic music plays and everyone cries into a North Face jacket. But high enough. I had the seat at the table. I was part of the decision. What goes on air, what does not, what gets bought, what gets passed on, what story matters, what story disappears. And then I hit a point where I realized something. To climb higher on that mountain, I would have to become a different kind of person. And I didn't want to become that person. Now, that's not me being dramatic. That's me being really honest. There are certain mountains where the top requires things from you that you may not want to give. Maybe it's your time, your family, your values, your health, your personality, your soul in a tiny little Ziploc bag. And at some point, I looked around and thought, I do not think I want to keep climbing this mountain. But here's the mistake I almost made. I thought that meant I had to start at the bottom of a new one. Like I was suddenly back at base camp wearing rented boots and pretending I understood the map. That's what so many people do. They pivot and they shrink. They go from expert to apologetic behavior. They start saying things like, hey, I'm still figuring it out. I'm just getting started. I'm trying to see where this goes. I'm exploring a few things. And listen, I get it. I have said some of that version too. Feel safe. Gives you cover. It lets you avoid the terrifying sentence. This is what I do now. But that safety comes with a cost. Because if you keep telling people you're still figuring it out, they will believe you and they will not know what to remember. I wasn't starting at the bottom. I'd spent over 20 years learning how to make things impossible to ignore. I knew how to listen to someone's story and find the line underneath the line. I knew how to see what made a person different before they could see it themselves. I knew how to build a premise. I knew how to turn a messy human story into something people could understand, watch, and repeat. That skill did not disappear because I stopped doing it for television shows. That became the foundation of the $2 bill brand. Same skill, new mountain. That's the point. Your past experience is probably not random. You may just be describing it badly. You think the story is scattered. It may not be scattered. It may be unorganized. You think your background is weird? Good. Weird is useful. You think people will not understand the jump? Well, they will not if you make them do the work. That's your job. Your job is to connect the dots for them. Not with a 19-minute career biography. Please do not do that to people. Nobody wants to hear your full professional ancestry while standing near the coffee at a networking event. You need a sentence. You need some sort of thread. You need to be able to see, I used to do this, that taught me this. Now I help these people do this. That's usable. That's clear. That's how your old mountain helps you climb the new one. For me, that thread is storytelling. Television taught me how to find the hook. Real estate taught me how many experts sound exactly the same. Entrepreneurship taught me how painful it is when you have the skill but not the words. And the $2 bill brand became the new mountain, helping people stop trying to be the best and start becoming the only. And that's what I want for you, because you may be sitting on 10, 15, 20, 30 years of experience and still talking like a beginner. Stop doing that. Not in an arrogant way, not in a look at me, I have arrived way. Please do not become one of those people who speaks only in podcast quotes and airport lounge selfies, but in a grounded way, in a true way, in a useful way. You have proof. You have patterns. You have scars. You have stories. You have things you know because you lived them, not because you watched a 3-part webinar and downloaded the workbook. Well, that matters, but if you cannot name it, other people cannot use it. That's where your only comes in. Your only is not a cute tagline. It's not a slogan you slap on a website next to a stock photo of someone pointing at a laptop. It's the sentence that connects your past, your point of view, your audience, and your promise. It makes the pivot make sense. It gives people a handle. It tells them what mountain you're climbing now. So here's the question. What mountain are you actually climbing? Not the one you used to climb. Not the one you think people expect you to climb. Not the one that looks impressive on paper but makes your stomach hurt. The real one. The one where your old skills become unfair advantages. The one where your weird background becomes the reason people choose you. The one where your story stops looking random and starts looking inevitable. And if you don't know it yet, go to findyouronly.app. It's free. 8 questions in under 8 minutes. The new 2.0 version is live. It will help you start pulling these clues out of your head. And if you want to help turning those clues into actual words you can use, that's where the one-on-one only statement audit is for. It's not a pep talk. It's not a motivational bubble bath, whatever that is. It's a working session. We find the sentence. We find the thread. We find the mountain. And I talked about the full story on the Motivated Sellers podcast, and I'm going to put the link in the comments below. But before you listen to one more podcast, take a second and ask yourself, am I actually starting over? Or have I just not named my mountain yet? Don't be the best. Be the only. Be the $2 bill.